Tonight, the Minority Caucus insists electronic transmission of results retained in electoral bill. Independent National Electoral Commission registers 2 parties. Youth League Benin. Governor Pueblo expresses satisfaction with progress on Ramat Park flyover. Abiodun denies involvement in August 2025 deal nearing spare part market killings. Good evening. Welcome to the Network News on Independent Television. I am Abigail Diremi. And joining me tonight on the news from Albany Network Center is Lawrence Usifo.
Abigail, and it's a pleasure to have you on the news tonight.
Senior Lawrence, thank you very much. And from our Lagos Center, I have Aiguje Ikoria. Good evening, Aiguje. How is it? And now to the news indeed. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday launched Nigeria's national halal economy strategy aimed at positioning the country to tap into $0.7 trillion global halal market and diversify its economy. As State House correspondent Ika Ruata reports, the president described the unveiling of the strategy as a signal of Nigeria's readiness to join the world in grabbing a chunk of the global halal community economy, I beg your pardon, rather embraced by leading nations.
President Bola Tinubu was represented at Thursday's unveiling of the Nigerian national halal, that global halal economy has since appeal of the halal economy and have integrated it into their export and quality assurance system.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is unequivocally committed to repositioning the Nigerian economy. But the task ahead as a halal economy, ensure aligned policy practice between delivery. Government will play its coordinating role. The private sector will bring in investment. Our development partners will find in Nigeria a serious and prepared counterpart. Because Nigeria must be an economy defined not only by volume, but by value, not only by growth, but by trust.
Speaking on the unveiling, chairperson of the National Halal Strategy Committee and Minister of Trades, Industry and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Odowole, stressed that what the Halal strategy has done for Nigeria is to position it among countries that export Halal certified goods across the world. She assured that as chairperson, her ministry would deliver on the objective of the strategy for the prosperity of Nigeria. From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, Amikaro Atta, ITV News.
The Senate Minority Caucus on Thursday dismissed media reports claiming that the National Assembly rejected electronic transmission of election results in the ongoing amendment to Nigeria's Electoral Act. National Assembly correspondent Charity Tanko reports that Senator Ayinaya Baribe, who spoke on behalf of the caucus, said that Senate did not vote against the electronic transmission, but instead clarified and strengthened the wordings of the provision.
The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday passed the Electoral Amendment Bill for the third reading after more than 4 hours of a closed-door session. However, reports later emerged alleging that the Senate had rejected electoral transmission result, a claim Senate President Godswill Akpabio denied. Addressing journalists on Thursday, the Senate Minority Caucus, led by Senator Ayinaya Baribe, said the bill passed with a clear provision for the electronic transmission of results, distinct from the term transfer used in the 2022 Electoral Act, which he described as vague and open to misinterpretation.
We passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification on his chair, is transmission of results.
The lawmaker also clarified that the harmonization process between the Senate and House versions of the bill has not yet been concluded, as the Senate must first formally adopt its vote and proceedings before the Conference Committee can meet.
The harmonization committee was set up also yesterday because when the House version and the Senate version differ, because there was so many matters, including timelines, that now using harmonization, what you use to make sure that you come to one single document which the President will now sign.
From Abuja, Charity, ITV News.
Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reviewed political parties, the Democratic Leadership Alliance, DLA, and the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. INEC Professor Mokbito on Thursday meeting chief of political parties in Abuja. Political correspondent Joseph Carter reports.
You're still on to the ITV Network News, broadcasting on independent television. You can watch ITV live on www.itvradioNG.com/live. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at ITV Radio NG. And in Benin, where the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Ukpevolo, has expressed satisfaction with the level of work and progress recorded at the ongoing construction of the Ramat Park flyover at Ikpoba Hill in Benin City, as well as the erosion control measures in the area. Governor Ukpevolo, accompanied by top government functionaries, stopped over at the project site on his way from Udomi in Uwesa in Irua in Eastern Central local government area of Edo State, where he hosted a 3-day strategic leadership retreat for civil and political servants in his administration. Our Government House correspondent Kingsley Uchegbu brings details.
The visit forms part of Governor Bolo's routine inspection of key infrastructure projects across the state aimed at ensuring timely delivery and quality execution. The governor was conducted around the project site by the project manager of China Civil Engineering Construction Company, the firm handling the project, Mr. Lee. The governor's visit generated excitement among traders, residents and motorists who expressed satisfaction with the speed and quality of work at the site. Addressing journalists from the deck of the flyover, Governor Bolo said he was impressed with the pace of work, stressing that the visit was to encourage the contractors to maintain momentum and seriousness until completion.
Well, it's our normal routine check, just to see what they are doing, and for them to know that we are serious, for them to also buckle up. They are doing a good job. You can see they've started backfilling. So, by the time they cast this point, they have already cast some spawns there. So, which means the job is almost at the point of completion, and that's exactly why we are following them up.
Some traders at Ramat Park also expressed appreciation to the governor for initiating the project and for closely monitoring the contractors to ensure timely completion.
So happy I'm still doing this thing in my time. Look, if it is only this flower that is giving us. 10 years back, we ten a bush, but today na express. Baba, he delivers us up inside the bush. Street lights. Governor
Bolo further inspected ongoing erosion control works at Orebeni and its environs as part of his administration's commitment to improving infrastructure, easing traffic congestion, and addressing environmental challenges in Benin City. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
To Kwara State, where Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak has described the deadly attack in some communities of the state as a pure massacre, saying 75 people were killed in the incident, which have been buried. Governor Abdulrazak disclosed this on Wednesday night when he visited the area and the palace of the Emir of Kaima in Muazu, Umar. Deborah Ugbaifun has details.
The governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, arrived at the palace of the Emir of Kaima, His Royal Highness Muazu Uman, after hours of road trip to the affected local government to get first-hand information on the deadly attack. Addressing the governor, the Emir of Kaima, and the chairman of Kaima local government area, Abubakar Daladi, said the attacks were carried out in two communities, Guru and Nuku, of Kaima local government area of Kwara State on Tuesday night.
Where we say about identify 75 people already buried, and those who have been taken by their religious faiths and their tribal things, they are not part of those things.
All the shops by the roadside were all vandalized, were all burnt down. The vigilantes who are seated in their office, numbering about 10, 12 of them, they tried to shoot them, the gun didn't penetrate them, they pushed them into the office and burned those young men into ashes.
Governor Abdulrazak, while condemning the attacks, said it was a pure massacre and commiserated with the families of the victims and the affected communities. He explained that the Muslim communities were targeted by the terrorists for resisting perverted terrorist doctrines.
Citizens here resisting the sort of ideology that is alien to them. 75 have been buried. We're short of words.
Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has deployed a battalion of the Nigerian Army to Kwara State. President Tinubu said the new military command will spearhead Operation Savannah Shield to checkmate the barbaric terrorists and protect defenseless communities. He condemned the dastardly attacks which were carried out against the villagers who had rejected the jihadist ideology. Deborah Ubefun, ITV News.
Residents of Eko Abetu, Evonika and Iyowa axes have renewed call on the Edo State government and security agencies to intensify security in the area following the kidnap of 9 members of the same family on the 2nd of February 2026. The victims, including a nursing mother, her baby, and 7 other children and adults, were allegedly attacked along Eko Abetu Iyowa Road of the Benin-Akure Expressway in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State. As our crime correspondent, Jolade Ujo, files in details.
Tragedy struck again along Iowa axis on Monday as gunmen suspected to be kidnappers attacked the Lexus 350 vehicle conveying 9 members of a family along the Ekabetu Iowa Express Road. Chairman of Ekabetu community, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said the family, comprising a nursing mother, a 2-month-old baby, and 7 other children and adults, were returning from school when they were attacked. He explained that the nursing mother and her baby were initially spared as they were found at the scene, while the other 7 family members were taken away by the assailants. Joint efforts by community members, vigilante groups, and police operatives later led to the rescue of 3 of the abducted children, leaving 4 others still unaccounted for.
There was nothing we could do because right from the beginning we have been crying about the atrocity of kidnappers. So even last 3 months, they came to this community too. We apprehend one of our boys. Fortunately, that one escaped them. That was the day the team went to Eboneka to pick one pastor.
Community members appealed to the government for urgent intervention, saying residents now live in constant fear.
The government should draw attention to this place. This road, as it is now, it's an express. At times, too much of our persons, they are afraid to go to the road when it's almost around 6 or thereabout. So the thing is that police checking point, they should empower them.
We are using this opportunity to appeal to the government. They should come to our aim. The situation whereby you cannot sleep and close your eye, kidnapping every day, is really affecting us.
Meanwhile, the Edo State Police Command Public Relations Officer, ASP Eno Ikoedem, says police operatives in collaboration with hunters and local vigilantes have launched an intensive bush combing operation in the area.
The commander assures the public that all necessary resources within its disposal have been deployed and every possible step is being taken to secure the safe rescue of the remaining victims.
From Benin, Jola Deojo, ITV News.
A cross-section of Nigerians have expressed mixed reactions to the Senate's rejection of a bill seeking to make electronic transmission of election results mandatory, following the passage of the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Amendment Bill 2026 after its 3rd reading on the floor. While some Nigerians say the decision could weaken transparency and public confidence in the electoral process, others were of the opinion that challenges such as poor network coverage, cybersecurity risk, and logistics must be addressed before electronic transmission can be made compulsory. Patience Osarogiwa brings details.
The Electoral Act is designed to ensure credible, transparent, free and fair elections while strengthening democratic institutions and public confidence. However, during consideration of the amendment bill, the Senate rejected the proposed amendment to Clause 60, subsection 3, which sought to make electronic transmission of election results mandatory. The lawmakers cited concerns over inadequate network coverage, particularly in rural areas, warning that compulsory real-time transmission could lead to technical failures and legal disputes. In Benin City, a legal practitioner, Barrister Osaimabo Agbonwadoleyi, and an educationist, Barrister Charles Okundigie, described the decision as a setback to electoral reforms, saying that electronic transmission would help curb result manipulation.
These electronically procured results are good, but there is no law directing or making provision for the court or tribunal to admit it.
They have no excuse to give. The reason why the Senate don't want to pass that particular aspect, because they themselves know that it will affect them. Because we have realized that it's not the voting that is the problem, it's when you are coordinating results.
Barrister Emmanuel commended the Senate, insisting that Nigeria is not yet fully prepared for a nationwide electronic transmission system.
Network is not everywhere in Nigeria, not even in all your bedrooms. We must ensure that we make laws that are practicable.
A political analyst in Warri, Delta State, Comrade James Atiang, supported the decision, saying INEC and the federal government currently lack the infrastructure to guarantee seamless electronic transmission across all polling units.
I support the motion by the Senate to have given INEC the powers to decide when it's appropriate for them to apply
the electronic transfer of the result.
Meanwhile, an Abuja-based lawyer, Lateef Ibrahim, and a Lagos resident, Ojo Ayobami, faulted the decision, insisting that electronic transmission remains the most effective way to ensure transparency and prevent electoral malpractice.
I think they can still reverse their position, because from north to south to west to east, it's so obvious that this is what the people want. If you claim to be a representative of the people, you should do what the people want.
Going electronically will help every individual to get the accurate result of who they are voting for. You will see the last voting we did, you will see that there is so much manipulation on it.
Respondents agreed that strengthening electoral credibility remains vital to Nigerians' democratic development. As it stands, electronic transmission of results remains permissible under the law, but is not mandatory. From Benin, Patience Osaugiwa, ITV News.
Guests on the current affairs program 60 Minute Nigeria have condemned the rejection of electronic transmission of results by the Senate, who passed the Electoral Act on Wednesday. They expressed their disapproval while commenting on the influence of religious leaders on modern governance in Nigeria. The report filed in by Esther Ogoro is presented by Deborah Ogbeifun.
On Wednesday, the Electoral Act 2022 Amendment Bill 2026 was passed through the third reading at the Senate. The lawmakers, however, did not approve the proposed amendment to Clause 60, Subsection 3 of the bill, which sought to make electronic transmission of election results mandatory. The guests, Dr. Royal Ayemeri and Bishop Lucky Omonabiase, expressed disappointment over the action of the Senate.
Every well-meaning politician for this nation should begin to think of how to move this country forward, not to take us backward or to make us stagnant. Nigeria at this point is overdue for electronic transmission of results.
This country is now 66 years old. Now people in the seat ought to be thinking forward. They are rejecting something that is acceptable all over the whole world. Meaning they have a plan to keep on dealing with us.
On the growing influence of religious leaders on modern governance, Dr. Royal Ayemeri and Bishop Lucky Omonabiase commended the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for asking for prayers. They said religious leaders play significant roles as fathers, mentors, counselors, and providers of spiritual guidance to leaders.
Seeking prayers is a sign that he understands his inadequacy.
Yeah.
That he needs extra strength. My advice to him is that he should keep doing the good work. Let him surround himself with people who will tell him the truth, even if it hurts him.
They must make sure all the promises, campaign promises, all the things must be fulfilled. We need food. It should encourage farmers, give them security. As we are building the road, building hospital, flyover, but we need food, because a hungry man can't climb flyover.
In Benin, Deborah Ogbeifun, ITV News.
You're still on to the network news, broadcasting live on independent television. It's now time for us to now hand you over to Aigboje Ikworia, who is standing by in our Lagos Network Center. Aigboje, good evening, and it's time for you to take over from here.
Good evening, Lawrence. From Lagos, more reactions have continued to trade the August 27, 2025 Owodu New massacre of 6 traders at the spare parts market. The last of the reaction is that the suspect, dead land grabber Abiodun Oyori, declared wanted by the Lagos State Police Commissioner, Jimoh Moshood, has debunked the claim of the police, saying that he's not a land grabber. The report.
Commenting on the recent declaration by the Lagos State Police Commissioner CP Jimoh Moshood that Abiodun Oyori is a land grabber and has a hand in the death of 6 traders, Mr. Abiodun Oyori said that he has all necessary documents, including court judgment, that authenticates his power of attorney on behalf of the family that owns the land. He said the Lagos State Police Command, including the Commissioner of Police, have been in the know of all the developments stage by stage till the day of enforcement.
Jimoh Moshood, where is calling me a land grabber.
I just want the whole world to know that I am not a land grabber. The land in question has a judgment. And I went to Abuja for me to execute the judgment.
Speaking further, lawyer to Ariori, Monye Francis, said the police officers that were allegedly attacked by Owode Oniru traders were assigned to him from the force headquarters of the Nigerian Police Force in Abuja, and they sustained various degrees of injury during the attack.
The police, apart from having responsibility for investigating and detecting crime, also have responsibility for the due end of law. A court decision is a law, and it's a law that must be abided. Once you have a judicial pronouncement, it becomes a law that settles the right of somebody, and it is that right a police officer will not question. I don't know whether the CP was not awake when his office was written. Letters were written to the office of the CP.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Jimoh Moshood, has since said that Abiodun Ariori and the police officers from Nasarawa must be investigated. From Lagos, Ibuji Korea, ITV News.
The chairman of the Lagos State Task Force, CSP, Adetayo Akerele, has issued a stem warning to uniformed personnel involved in commercial motorcycle operations on prohibited routes, stressing that law enforcement officers not pick while addressing a group before this auto release their insight, which is in CSP like existing state traffic and environmental laws or risk prosecution. The task force chairman noted that it cast a negative image on security agencies when officers entrusted with enforcing the law are found violating it.
Just on to the network news broadcasting on independent television. It's time for us to go on a short break on the news to bring you more reports. After the break, stay with us.
Kada Unity Cup is back. The Edo State Football Association, in collaboration with Kada Plaza, proudly present Kada Unity.
This is ITV. This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
And was established by Oba Ewuare I during his reign as Oba of Benin. The festival is also to remind the people of the end of the year and offering of sacrifice to the God of peace and harvest in the land. Okoromi is a peaceful community, and the people are loving, caring, and associated with progress over the years. Ugioswenwa Enohi Tete celebration goes with masquerade to identify the festival with the ancestors. The masquerades will dance to confirm the acceptance of the gods.
Staying with us on the news and moving on, where some masked youth on Wednesday were alleged to have attempted to burn down the new Edo State campaign office of the African Democratic Congress ADC along Ugbelaka Street in Benin City. According to the state party chairman Ken Odion, he said that the incident occurred at about 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. Jonah Omorowa, Faizen reports.
The destruction and attempted arson on the new Edo State African Democratic Congress Secretariat along Ugbelaka Street in Benin City were visible when the news crew visited the scene. It was observed that the sliding windows were destroyed while the party's banner and flags were torn and brought down. Edo State Chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Ken Odion, and the brother to the landlord of the affected property, Barrister Chris Agugu, described the incident as unfortunate.
What has happened here is anti-democracy. Nigeria is a multi-party system that this country is running. So nobody can say that Nigerians don't have right to belong to a political party that they want to belong. So we are calling on security agency to carry out this investigation, because these persons, they are not ghosts, they are human beings, they live in our society. So they must get to the root of this matter.
Thank God that the fire did not go beyond this. Ordinarily, they would have raised all my documents, raised everything, and I know I prepared this agreement less than a month ago.
Others who spoke were of the view that political violence characterized by physical and psychological acts aimed at injuring or intimidating political opponents should be discouraged ahead of the next general elections. From Benin, Jonah Omowa, ITV News.
The acting chairman of Oredo local government area, Honorable Gabriel Iduseri, has called for peace and harmony between members of the Hamburger Traders Union in Oba Market and their landlords. The acting chairman made the appeal when members of the union took their protest to the council secretariat. Addressing the aggrieved members of the Hamburger Traders Union Oba Market, who staged a peaceful protest with placards and chanted solidarity songs over alleged quit notices and takeover of their shops, Engineer Gabriel Iduseri said peace and harmony remains the only partnership for resolving the lingering issues and allegations, assuring the traders of his administration's commitment to justice, equity and fairness. The acting chairman noted that the welfare of traders and small business owners remains a core priority of his government. Honorable Iduseri further promised that all issues raised by the traders would be thoroughly investigated and resolved transparently, while urging them to remain calm and law-abiding. The engagement ended on a hopeful note after extensive deliberations, as the chairman listened to the various demands of the traders, who noted that the lingering dispute poses a threat to their livelihoods and the economic stability of their families. Meanwhile, Honorable Iduseri reiterated the efforts of Governor Monday Okpebholo's administration in ongoing construction of Oba Market. He called on the traders to support the government's good work by maintaining peace and allowing the contractors to carry out the project effectively for the benefit of the legitimate shop owners in the market. The member representing Oredo Federal Constituency at the National Assembly, Honorable Esosa Yahweh, has emphasized the need for hygienic areas to be provided for slaughtering of livestock for human consumption. The federal lawmaker made a statement during the inauguration of a renovated ultra-modern abattoir equipped with a solar-powered borehole, toilet and bathroom facilities, a standard slaughter slab, and a 10 kVA generator to guarantee uninterrupted operations. The report is presented by Efusa Uwangwe.
The renovation of the abattoir was facilitated by the member representing Oedo Federal Constituency, Honorable Esosa Yahweh, as part of his constituency project. In his remarks, Honorable Esosa Yahweh said the project aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu and the shine agenda of Governor Monday Okpebholo, aimed at improving infrastructure, public health and livestock standards in Edo State.
I have some privileges to get some abattoirs renovated by putting a usable toilet, bathroom, solar borehole, generator, and some other amenities. So I will advise the staffs of this venture to use it wisely and to increase their productivity when they work on their business for the abattoir business.
National President of the National Butchers Union of Nigeria and Chief Executive Officer of the Abattoir, Honorable Sonny Omokao, said the initiative was driven by the need to ensure livestock is processed in a clean and hygienic environment. He noted that this was the first time butchers in Edo State will receive such benefits from a lawmaker.
I will assure him that we'll make good use of it, we'll maintain it. And it's not just about providing meat for the public, hygienic meat.
Edo State Butchers Chairman Ikpawosa Ori praised the facility as the first of its kind and commended the national legislator for the development.
It's a new ovation. So we have not seen it before. So we want to say thank you to Honorable Esosa Iyawe.
The highlight of the event was the formal inauguration of the facility by Honorable Iyawe amidst jubilation by members of the Butchers Union. The newly renovated abattoir is located at Ogiso Street off Ikpoba Slope, Benin City. From Benin, Efosa Uwangwe, ITV News.
It's time for another short break on the news tonight. Stay with us.
Certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Thank you so much for staying with us still on the ITV main news for tonight. Moving on, the role of persons living with disabilities in nation building cannot be overemphasized. This was the consensus of guests on the political program this morning on ITV. Ehis Ohonamure, who monitored the program, reports that the guest called on those in position of authority to ensure that persons with physical challenges are fully integrated into the mainstream of governance. The report is presented by Oluwafemi Farayola.
Guests from the Lagos Network Center noted that persons living with physical challenges have been neglected over the years. Despite their proven capacity to contribute meaningfully to national development, they said this continued segregation not only hinders nation building, but also denies persons with disabilities the right to live an inclusive and dignified life within society. The guests therefore called for strong legislation to provide legal backing for the inclusion of persons with disabilities in governance.
There's this self-stigmatization by even some of the parents, and then general stigmatization. People want to hide them from public view. These ones are not good to live. These ones are, if I use the word abiku.
Speaking from the Benin Network Center on the topic delayed passage on the electoral bill, one of the guests, Professor Odion Akene, said though the Electoral Act was passed through the third reading, the delay and rejection of the electric transmission of election results gives cause for concern.
It's central to the call for electoral reform. It has not been dealt with. It's bypassed again. You know, it's not mandatory that electoral results should be transmitted real time. So if that is not there, it leaves room, you know, to all kinds of electoral manipulations that we Nigerians are used to, you know, on the part of the political elites in this country.
Other guests on the program advised politicians to pursue long-term goals while remaining flexible. They also emphasized the need for integrity, courage, and strong, authentic communication with the public and key stakeholders. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
To judicial matters, where the convicted leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has filed a notice of appeal at the Court of Appeal, challenging his conviction in multiple sentences imposed by the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. Kanu is insisting that his trial was riddled with fundamental legal errors and amounted to a miscarriage of justice. And the notice of appeal dated February 4th, 2026, Kanu said he was appealing against his conviction and sentences on 7 counts, including terrorism-related offenses, for which he received 5 life sentences and additional prison terms after being found guilty on November 20th, 2025. In his ground of appeal, the IPOB leader accused the trial court of failing to resolve what he described as a foundational disruption of the original trial process following the 2017 military operation at his Afarauku residence, and also contended that the court proceeded with the trial and delivered judgment while his preliminary objections challenging the competence of the proceeding remained unresolved. Among the relief sought, Kanu urged the Court of Appeal to allow the appeal, quash his conviction and sentences, and discharge and acquit him by the appellant in respect of all the counts. On November 20th, 2025, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment. He is currently being held at a correctional facility in Sokoto State after his application to be transferred to different facilities was denied. To business news, where Target and other major Minnesota businesses are facing rising discontent from staff as workers fear the Trump administration's immigration crackdown put them at risk on their job. Employees are pushing firms to provide clearer guidelines about how to respond if Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) officers arrive at their work site, and asking them to do more to limit agents and access to stores and parking lots. The pressures have been particularly acute at Target, a national name and one of the state flagship employers, who, after the detention of 2 workers inside one of its suburban Minneapolis stores last month. In the aftermath More than 300 staff signed an internal letter urging executives to speak up and take steps to keep ICE officers off the target of properties. The tensions at businesses are part of the fallout of the U.S. President Donald Trump's move to deliver on his promises of stricter immigration enforcement, a vocal point of his winning in the year 2024 election campaign. He has also sent thousands of ICE agents to Minneapolis in recent weeks in an initiative dubbed Operation Metro Surge, which officials says it aims at restoring public safety and arresting the deportation undocumented immigrants with criminal records. And talking entertainment, where a former soap star, Elizabeth Kelly, whose career in television spanned 40 years, have died at the age of 10. Elizabeth Kelly, best known for playing busybody Nellie Ellis in Eastlanders, died peacefully in Scarborough on the 31st December. Her agent, Scott Marshall and partners, stated, born in Newcastle, she began acting in a career in late 1960s and played Eddie Burgess in ITV's soap Coronation Street in 1971. She went into a play portrays various roles in several drama series, including The Bews and Wares and Heart. In 1993, Kelly joined the cast of Eastlanders and Nellie Ellis and sharp-tongued relative of Pauline Fowlers. She played the role until 1998 before returning for her final appearance in the year 2000 for the funeral of Ethel Skinner. We'll go on another break to bring you more reports. Stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us on our earlier report of the death of Elizabeth Kelly. She died at the age of 104. And moving on to international scene, where U.S. President Donald Trump said immigration agents could use a softer touch as its administration began pulling about a quarter of its force out of Minnesota, where 2 American citizens died last month in confrontations with federal officers. During a press conference on Wednesday, Border Stars Homan said that the U.S. government has made providing body-worn cameras to all officers in Minneapolis a priority and was planning to deploy the equipment to agents across the country. Holman said that the federal immigration agent in Minnesota has been arresting bad people in the Minneapolis area, including 14 charged with homicide and 139 with assault, as well as 87 sex offenders and 28 gang members. The Operation Metro Surge has sparked protest after two residents, Ren Good and Alex Pretty, were fatally shot during encounters with federal agents. And a 5-year-old boy, Liam Ramos, was caught up with the deportation dragnet and was detained along with his Ecuadorian migrant's father until the judge ordered their release at the weekend. U.S. border tester Tom Homan said earlier that 700 federal immigration agents would be withdrawn from the Minneapolis area and said that 2,000 agents would remain, and that he aimed to cut their presence in the city to its level before Operation Metro Surge began in December. And talking sports on the news, where the group stage of the third edition of the Kada Unity Cup 2026 came to a close at the Lucky Igbenedion Sports Complex in Etete, GRA, Benin City, with match day 4 delivering decisive results as teams battled for the remaining quarter-final ticket and the military and paramilitary championship. Sport correspondent Solomon Aina reports that the final round of the group matches reshaped the tournament landscape, with some side booking passage into the knockout phase, while others bowed out of the competition.
The Nigerian Army produced a commanding performance, whitewashing the Federal Fire Service 4-0, while the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) secured a 2-0 victory over the Nigerian Police Force. In another encounter, the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) maintained the impressive run with a 3-1 win against the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA). The result confirmed the exit of the defending champion Nigerian Police Force, while NYSC, the Nigerian Army, and EFCC were amongst the team that sealed qualification to the quarterfinals. Players from the various teams reflected on their matches at the end of the proceedings, expressing mixed emotion as some celebrated progression while others acknowledged elimination.
I would like to thank God for giving me the privilege to have the amazing award, and by God's grace, this tournament will be the winner.
I want to play better football to win, and I'm very happy for today's victory. I'm very happy. I'm sure that in the quarterfinal that we also win the match.
Chairman of the local organizing committee and Edo State Football Association, Fred Newton, also reacted to the conclusion of the group phase, commending the conduct of the teams and officials while expressing optimism for an even more exciting knockout stage.
There are some surprise results that nobody envisaged that will happen, especially the defending champion, the police machine, that has been eliminated from this tournament. For the 3 years running, they've been playing the finals, and now they will not be seeing police in the final. And there's a surprise teams also that came up and with great resilience, like the NYC boys that fought to win their last game to enable them to qualify for the quarterfinal stage. It has been a wonderful tournament so far.
With the group phase now concluded, attention turns to the quarterfinals as action resumes on Saturday, February 7th, 2026, with qualified teams set to intensify their chase for the Kada Unity Cup title. From Benin, Solomon Aino, ITV News.
And that's the size of our package on the ITV Network News for tonight. On behalf of my colleagues, Abigail Aderemi in Abuja and Aigbuji Ikwora in Lagos, I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. From everyone here, to have a beautiful night rest. Good night.
ITV, certainly the best.
The land of Onwa is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic and socio-political ties. However, irrespective of their subtitle differences in language and culture, they share common traditions. The people are known for their hospitality. Onwa traced their origin to Benin Kingdom as a result for a man to find a comfortable place for living. The name Onwa was derived from the largest and longest river in the area, which is known as Onwian or Onwa. It means one who makes merry